Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we are absolutely cutting through the noise to build a scientifically sound blueprint for visible abs. You might have totally dialed in your chest and arms, but core training, well, that's where even the most knowledgeable lifters still kind of spin their wheels. So let's dive into the actual biomechanics of what works, what absolutely does not, and how you can stop wasting your time and start seeing some tangible results.
It's a super frustrating paradox, right? You're doing hundreds of crunches a day, literally straining your neck, yet your midsection looks exactly the same as it did 6 months ago. We get trapped in this endless cycle with zero visual payoff, mistaking a localized burn for actual muscle growth. And you know what they say, the definition of insanity is repeating that same ineffective process over and over.
First things first, we have got to discard the myth that folding yourself in half on a yoga mat like a laptop until you pass out is the secret to a shredded core. That burning sensation, it's literally just lactic acid buildup, and it is completely misleading you. Endless, unweighted spinal flexion is easily one of the most persistent myths in fitness, and it's time we completely change how we view this muscle group.
All right, Section 1, the core training myth, architecture versus endurance.
The biological reality here is actually pretty straightforward. Your rectus abdominis, your abs, are skeletal muscle, period. Just like your chest, just like your biceps, they require mechanical tension and actual resistance to grow. They aren't some magical tissues that respond to unweighted, ultra-high volume. They obey the exact same physiological rules as the rest of your body.
Think about it like this. You would never, ever try to build a massive chest by doing 500 reps with 2-pound dumbbells, right? No way! So why on earth are you treating your core like it's training for an endurance marathon? We all inherently understand that muscle growth requires heavy loads. Yet, the second we hit the mat for core work, we just toss basic training logic right out the window. If you want that dense 3D look, the kind where the abdominal blocks literally push against the skin, you absolutely must apply progressive overload. You need to treat your cable crunches or weighted leg raises exactly like your bench press. Forcing the muscle to adapt to increasing resistance every week, that's the only way to build structural thickness.
Which brings us to Section 2, the fat burner scam. Burning cash, not fat. Because here is the brutal truth. Heavily muscled abs are completely useless if they're hidden under a thick layer of fat. And let me save you hundreds of dollars right now. Fat burners, they do not biologically burn fat. They are mostly just heavy doses of caffeine paired with exotic-sounding green tea or random plant extracts that look super scientific on a label but do absolutely nothing for your metabolism.
This supplement industry is basically playing a massive psychological trick on you. They load you up with stimulants, your heart races, you get sweaty, and you think, wow, my body is melting away fat. But in reality, your nervous system is just freaking out with jitters and anxiety. You're experiencing a massive stimulant dump and burning nothing but your hard-earned cash.
Let's move on to Section 3, the calorie deficit equation, the unglamorous reality of fat loss.
There is literally only one scientifically proven way to reveal the architecture you've built, and that is a calorie deficit, eating less than you burn. It's the laws of thermodynamics, plain and simple. It's the only physiological trigger that forces your body to tap into stored fat for energy. No magical pill or bizarre workout hack is ever going to bypass this equation.
So, what's the magic number? You're aiming for a sweet spot of about 8 to 15% body fat. This is the physiological Goldilocks zone where you are lean enough for that dense muscle to pop, but your hormones and energy levels are still actually functioning. Pushing below 8%, that usually leads to severe hormonal issues and is just notoriously unsustainable for anyone who isn't a competitive bodybuilder.
But listen, this is exactly where the most disciplined lifters completely self-sabotage. They hear calorie deficit and just slash their calories way too aggressively. And what happens? Your body panics. It enters a severe stress state, your testosterone profile absolutely tanks, and your metabolism stalls. A cut has to be calculated. It is not a starvation diet.
So how do we do that? Section 4, the smart cut strategy, effortless tracking without overthinking.
Look, manual logging is tedious. It's exactly why most people quit. Actually, scratch that, it's why almost everyone quits. That's why I use Cal AI to bypass the whole tedious data entry process. It's literally 3 steps. You snap a picture of your meal, the AI analyzes it in seconds, and boom, it calculates your exact calorie range. It completely removes the friction of tracking.
Taking the guesswork out of your nutrition means you avoid accidentally turning your cut into a hormonal disaster.
If you want to make this effortless, you can use the code CAPTAINWORKOUT to download Cal AI for a free 3-day trial. Dialing this in perfectly guarantees your body fat steadily drops, while your testosterone and all that hard-earned muscle mass stay fully protected.
All right, let's bring this whole shebang together. The true blueprint. Stop wasting time with endless floor crunches and useless supplement scams. Get your diet in check with a trackable deficit. Train your core with heavy progressive resistance, just like any other muscle group. And please, protect your gains by prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of high-quality sleep every single night.
We've torn down the structural myths, we've debunked the industry scams, and we've laid out the mathematical reality of fat loss. So my final question for you is this. Are you going to keep chasing comfortable illusions and magic pills, or are you finally ready to put in the real hard work required to build a physique that actually stands out? The blueprint is yours. Now go execute.